Uh-oh, I wasn't quite ready to turn the camera on. I turned it on. Hello, it's Janelle. Let's get real, feel, and deal. I am feeling, I am feeling this training. I'm telling you, I am feeling it. It is, whew, not easy. But the goal I have set for myself, for me, is not easy. I know for other people that are going to be out there joining me in the race, it's going to be easy for them. Maybe in some ways, and maybe in other ways, not so much. But today I realized that I don't have to do it all the same time every time. I don't have to do the same thing each time. And I can still get good results. So I did things a little bit different today because I just didn't have it in me. I didn't have it in me to do things the same way I did the other day. And that's okay. That's okay. But I found myself thinking about, but do I measure up? You know, can I do what's expected of me? And that has been something, gosh, all my life. What do people expect of me? Can I perform to their expectations? And I don't know if this hits you like it does me, but that hits me hard. Am I performing to other people's expectations? Right now, what this has to do with is there's a standard that I have to be able to meet in order to participate in this 5K that I'm going to do. And like I said, for some people, this may be like a piece of cake. And for other people, like me, it's your first time and you've never done anything like this before. And so I had reached out because I realized that I'm barely going to meet their requirements. And fortunately, they told me that there's leeway. There's some leeway for the particular race that I'm doing. There's a 5K, there's a 10K, and then also the Italian Stallion for the Rocky Run, which is 13.1 miles. So I'm just doing the basic. I'm not. I know someone that's doing the 10K, and God bless her. And I pray that she just feels great doing it, and she just really is able to do her personal best. But this whole measuring up thing, if we are constantly trying to measure up to what someone else expects of us, what someone else wants us to achieve, man, we're going to live a disappointing life. I'm so thankful that I can come out here and I don't feel like I have to measure up to anybody. I'm taking measure, of my pace and how long it's taking me to do certain things, and I'm giving myself some different benchmarks to meet, but they're mine, and that's I'm trying to improve myself, not against anybody else. But measuring up, it just goes back to what I was talking about the other day of comparison. And I was even thinking about today, it's like, yeah, even, when I was in school, I was a average, maybe a little above average student. And that whole grading system, and I know some people will probably say, blah, 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 but this is my opinion, and this is my podcast, so but I think the whole grading system, it just really puts such pressure on us, our kids, and it follows us even into life. Like I said, measuring up. How well did you do compared to other people your age, other people your body type, other people your ability, comparison, and the whole above average and below average, and there's so much pressure in it. And so I never really thought about, well, I kind of did. I kind of stereotyped kids that would constantly be getting D's and F's, as, just, derelicts and just, lazy, and they didn't want to have anything to do with school and didn't want to learn, and just were rebellious. But now we're starting to understand that a lot of times kids just learn differently. And even as we grow older, people learn differently. We all learn differently because we're all different. We're not the same. None of us share the same brain. None of us share the same heart. So when we have this measuring system and this pressure and this competitive, I mean, yes, okay, is it fun to, race against somebody, and, like I used to do with my, friends growing up, and family members, cousins and everybody growing up. Yeah, we'd race, we'd have races running down our lane, and, it was all in fun and everything. And I know there's track meets, there's people that, that's what they do, but I think there's a place for it. There's a place for it. And the Olympics and all that stuff people train for. But as I'm out here training, I'm being reminded that this is something I've carried with me. Do I measure up? Can I meet the expectations of people around me? And if I don't, what does that do? What does that show? What does that mean? Well, for me, it means I've failed. If there was an expectation of me to maintain a certain grade level, which there wasn't in my house, my parents, my dad only finished the 8th grade, never even graduated. But that was that time of, in the world where that's the way it was. You worked on the family business, you worked on the farm, education wasn't really important, especially public education. Granted, there's a lot you can learn just by working on the farm, and I am absolutely all for private education, homeschooling, unschooling. That as I pulled both of our kids out here in the last several years, graduated our son. But measuring up, so if I had a certain grade level I was expected to maintain, or this certain thing I was supposed to perform well at, and I didn't, that made me feel like I had failed. And fortunately, there are people in my life who have said, well, you did your best. I know there's other people who have heard, well, your best wasn't good enough. And that's really hard to live up to. And that's something we're never gonna be able to do consistently. Like today, I wanted to run the entire time, that I was training. And I just didn't have it in me. So today I did intervals. And my pace per mile actually was not horrible. It's longer than they are asking for, but like I said, they told me leeway. It's my first, and so I'm not going to beat myself up about it. But I realize I don't have to push myself every single time the same way. I'm out here. I did it. I even got up at the right time to get out here. And fortunately, it's warm today. So that's really nice as well, that it's warm. But that's where I went today with thinking when I was training, is measuring up. So, yeah, if you feel today like you don't measure up, like you're just not hitting the mark, that you feel like you're failing someone, just know that if you're doing your best, that's all that matters. You don't need to measure yourself against anybody else. You're doing your best. I'm doing my best. And that's all we can do, is just do your best. Give it all you have. And the only way that you know you're done, or that you've really failed, is if you give up. Otherwise, even if you attempt something and you don't measure up and you don't hit the mark and you don't quite get where you want it to be, that is a chance to learn. That's a chance to say, okay, let me look at these. It's like football players. They have a play that they're supposed to do on the field, and it doesn't quite go right. Well, they have tapes, and so the tapes are watched. Or my daughter, they're doing marching band competitions, and they have judges' tapes, and they give out the judges' tapes, and there's the comments from the judges. This is how you can improve this. So you listen to someone's advice and critique. Criticism is not good, but constructive criticism, it is good, especially if it is given to someone who is open to receiving it and say, yes, I can learn, I can do better, I can try better. So if I had somebody who was an experienced runner telling me, hey, Janelle, maybe if you did this, you tweaked this a little bit, you did this a little bit different, you might find things a little bit easier for you. And I've had some people that I know that are avid runners, and that have encouraged me. And that's another thing, it's encouraging. Constructive criticism encourages changed behavior, just like discipline versus punishment, and the two are so different. One leads to shame and guilt and condemnation, and the other leads to changed behavior, awareness and changed behavior. So that's just where I'm at today, is I don't have to measure up. And that's hard for me, but I'm gonna think about that more, and I'm gonna pray, and I'm gonna ask God to help me with that, because He says, compare yourself to no man. And I'm accepted, and I'm beloved, and I am wanted just as I am. I am loved, I am cherished, I'm adored, he enjoys my company just by me being who he created me to be. I don't have to measure up. I don't have to perform to be accepted. And neither do you. Oh my goodness. I do love it out here. Where's that place for you that you can go? You don't feel like you have to measure up. You have to meet anybody else's expectations. I hope you find that place today. Have a blessed day.